Okay. Hello, hello, hello. So, this is called Take What Rings True. And this site is for spiritual thoughts. And today's thoughts are about Jesus. I didn't know my jacket was so weird. Okay. Anyway, today's thought is about Jesus on love. So his ideas, his thoughts about love. Now, today, here, I'm recording on Christmas Eve. So, Christmas Eve. One thing that we're celebrating, if you're in the States on this day, is the eve of Christmas, which is supposed to be. But actually, if you know about political thing, and it switched the date or the time of year that Jesus was born, which it didn't really switch where he was born, but it did switch what it was on the calendar. So really, he was not born in December. He was really born in what we would consider June. So, take what rings true. My name is Teresa Micheletti, and I want to talk about Jesus and love. Jesus came to earth to bring the message that God is love. If we are all sparks of God and God is love, then we feel better, we are better when we focus on love and not transgressions that people have done against us. So, love. Jesus said many things about love. And of course, the Bible does not accurately portray what he actually said. But he calls himself Yeshua, by the way. So if you do a meditation and Jesus comes into your meditation, you might notice that he calls himself Yeshua. And he brought in the message that God is love. So when we are on the other side, heaven, we feel love in every pore of our body. And Jesus wanted to bring that idea, that thought, that belief into life on earth. So Jesus' central message was not a doctrine or fear. It was the focus of love as the heart of life, as the heart of being, as the heart of existing. Because if God is love, then we're all part of love. And if we align to that, we feel better, heart, mind, and soul. You know, the section of the Bible that says, love yourself, love your neighbor as yourself. And that all spiritual law rests on love. So Jesus believed that love was a way of being. Now, love can be smiling at someone, commenting on something you like about their shoes, their hair, their bag, their puppy, the color they're wearing, anything. You brighten someone's day just by smiling. I've told this story before where my mentor, Sylvia, would go to church every day. She went to a parochial high school, and she went to church every day. In the morning, they had a mass, and she would smile at this lady who was always sitting in the front row. And a couple of years later, the lady stopped her and said she had saved her life. She was feeling so lonely that the only brightness that she had in the day was Sylvia smiling at her every day. Such a small thing as smiling can make such a difference in someone's life. So think about that. And remember, Jesus loved people before they changed, or even if they didn't change. And if you love someone, it creates a space for healing. So, Focus on the belief that love can change things. Focus on living and loving being your focus. Love frees us from the heart of bitterness. So if someone's transgressed you, they've done something mean, they've harmed you, they've hurt you, you do not have to forgive them and make it all beautiful and light. That's probably not going to happen. For some people, that's probably, depending on what happened, you can forgive and let go. But one thing you can do is give it to God. Okay, this person was mean. They were a bully. Say they were a bully and they did it like for 3 years in school. Instead of thinking about that over and over and over again in a loop, which we do, then give it to God and let God forgive them. And then you are free. You have freed yourself and allowed space for healing. So love is not just a belief, it's a way of living. So if you can't forgive something, if you can't let go of something, give it to God and let God take care of it. You free yourself. When you get upset about someone who did something, somebody cuts you off on the freeway or someone was the bully, for you to keep playing that over and over and over again in your mind, it brings you down. Doesn't do anything to them. They probably could care less. So stop focusing on what you can't change and focus on what you can change. So give it to God. And then that leaves you space to feel better, to feel joy, to feel happiness. Fill your thoughts with joy and happiness, not with the yucky things people have done. So when we judge things, it lowers our vibration. And we tend to keep replaying those thoughts, replaying those thoughts. You don't have to approve of someone. You don't have to like everyone, but you can like their spark of God or love their spark of God. If we're all sparks of God, then each one of us has a little tiny bit of God within us, and we can love the spark. We don't have to love the way they are. We don't have to love them, but we can love the spark and know that God created them. And perhaps they're not acting in the way we would like them to act. They're not acting as Christ would. What is the saying? What would Jesus do? Well, obviously they're not acting the way Jesus would act, but let that go. Okay? They are not a nice person. They're not a kind person. They're not whatever, or the situation was not good, kind, whatever. Take those thoughts in that package and give it to God. And that leaves you free to hold on to something that's fun, something that's nice, something that's joyful. And that's especially nice at this point in time. For me, focusing on today is Christmas Eve when I'm recording this. So Christmas Eve. So we should, if you are a Christian, you would be thinking about Christ, and you would be thinking about the day that we're celebrating him tomorrow. So instead of the yucky stuff, let's focus on the love, focus on the joy, focus on the things that are wonderful. Do you have shelter? Do you have food? Do you have a pleasant thing to do, even if it's drawing a picture or watching television or being with a friend? We don't have to have 10,000 presents to be joyful on Christmas. What we do need to do is love ourselves, and that includes letting go of all the yucky stuff and stop holding on to that. When we focus on the yucky stuff, then we don't allow the space to feel wonderful, to feel joyful, to feel pleasant thoughts. So, love is a spiritual strength. Love is greater than suffering. So stop creating the suffering within you because you're holding on to thoughts that you don't need to hold on to. There's another quote in the Bible, whatever you did for one of the least of these, you do for me. So if you are volunteering and helping someone, or you are smiling, or you are taking a can to Salvation Army, or you are helping serve things, or you're helping volunteer at the nursing home, whatever it is, the smallest thing, the smile, the compliment you give someone, all of those are showing love and kindness. So Jesus amplified living love. He didn't have to speak about it all the time. You don't have to speak about it all the time, but smiling at someone, giving them a compliment, that's showing love. That's what Jesus would do. And you can be like Jesus. Remember, you don't have to like everyone, but start letting go of all the thoughts and all the transgressions. Don't hold on to them. So practice love in the way you talk to people, in the way you smile. You know, when you go to the grocery store and they say, "How are you today?" And then we just pay for the food, ask them how they are. It doesn't take much to just give a little bit of love to the people around you, the people you encounter during the day. So, my job for you this week is to try to smile at someone or be kind and give them a compliment. And know that God loves you, Jesus or Yeshua loves you, and I love you. We are all sparks of God. We've got to stick together here and get through this silly life that we're in, this bad camping trip, and just laugh and find some joy today. So that's what I wish for you. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye.